Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I make content on my active fentanyl addiction and also my prison experience as somebody who works in prison, and I also have the perspective of somebody who was also incarcerated, my ex-partner. If those things do interest you, then please do subscribe. As you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be a prison related one. It's going to be about my experience with being searched or lack of searching. It's something that really didn't happen very often. I was there for 1 year and I got searched one time. I worked in a high security category B prison, so a really serious prison. Prisoners who most of them were there for murder, so really serious crimes as well, and it was a high security as well. How they got away with being called a high security when there was never any searches, I really have no idea. So I thought, being a high security category B prison, that there would be a lot more in the way of searches. It would happen a lot more often, and I was under this impression because when I started I did some training at a high security mental health hospital. There's only 3 in the country that are the high security ones. They're almost like a bit of a prison for those who are too mentally ill to go and be in a normal prison environment. There are also people there that are just there purely because they are such a danger to themselves and others. They've not actually done anything to be arrested for or charged for. Others are there because, you know, they're, for what they did for their crimes, they are too mentally unwell to go to prison. In that institute, I did some training up there before I started in the prison, and the security was what I imagined it to be and what I hoped and imagined every prison would be like. Obviously that was not the case, but it was, you went in and you had the opportunity to put all your things in the locker, you know, your phone, your car key, all that sort of thing. You couldn't take any food in, any drink. You could take an empty bottle and get it filled once you were past the security, but you couldn't take anything in, which makes sense. You can take anything in a bottle. Things that look like water could literally be anything, so that I've completely agreed with. And food, you never know what's in food. People can hide things in food, so again, completely made sense. It was airport security at another level. So is, you had to take your shoes off, any jackets, scarves, belts, anything that you could remove without being, you know, unclothed, you would put in and that would go through the scanner like at airport security. You would then be patted down. Obviously females would pat down females, males would pat down males, and it was quite thorough. They would check your hair, they would check your mouth, you had to have taken your shoes off already, so they would check any pockets, they would check your waistband. It was thorough, but I appreciate it, and I thought this is good because it means that, you know, nothing's getting in. I mean, there's always ways to get things in, but it's much less likely that things are getting in that shouldn't be here. So I hoped when I then went to work in the prison it would be the same. Obviously it wasn't. So the first day I went there, I wasn't in uniform or anything, so they kind of, I can't even say they did a search. They asked me, have you got a phone on you? I mean, obviously I hadn't, but even if somebody is trying to take a phone in, they're not going to go, oh yeah, I've got a phone on me. So that was the first thing I thought was a bit silly. They just ask you, have you got a phone on you? No, okay. I didn't take any food or drinking because I wasn't sure if you're allowed to. Come to find, you can literally, food wise, drink as long as it's not alcohol, but let's be honest, you can take a bottle in that isn't clear, could have anything in it, so you're not, you know, you could take it in if you really wanted to, and food wise you can take anything in. I then got in on my first day and they literally opened my bag. It was like when you're in a nightclub and they just open your bag and go, yeah, okay, and let you in. They didn't look at anything properly. They didn't look for my pockets, didn't pat me down, nothing. And I was a bit like, this is strange. This is really strange. I was hoping that there would be more. There wasn't even a designated search area. You just went in and got your keys and your radio and off you went. It was bizarre, to be honest. So you literally walked in and there was like a little mini kind of box that you stood in. It made me fit like, I don't know, max 10 people in it. That door would shut, this one would open, and then the people could go through. But there was never anything. and obviously until the day that the search happened, which was about 6 months of me working there, which is mad. And come to find that when I started, a week before I started, a gun was found in the prison. A gun. You would have thought that that would be a reason to up the ante with regards to security, with regards to searching, with regards to making sure nothing is coming in that shouldn't be, because that gun found its way in some way, somehow. Whether it be officers, whether it be at visits, whether it be whatever else, that gun found its way in. So you would think that they would up that. However, when you come to learn about the corruption that goes on in prisons, it makes you think that maybe they don't want to find anything. Maybe there's a reason for not having so much security. It's just my opinion, but I feel like there is a hidden agenda when it comes to that. So with regards to the day the search happened, like I say, I've been working there about 6 months, never had a search. So I went in and I was working with my colleague, and we walked through and I was like, oh, what's going on? And she said, oh, we're being searched. Obviously I had nothing to worry about. Prior to this, because of my fentanyl, because of my back pain, and also I was taking tramadol at the same time, I had informed security of this. I've informed my boss, who then informed security. So I thought, you know, this is going to come up, but it's fine. Like, they all know, they can check on the system, it's fine. So the first thing that happens is you walk through one at a time and the drug dog sniffs you. Now this is an opiate drug dog. I have fentanyl on me, stuck onto me on a patch, and I have tramadol in my bag, right? So the dog sits down if it senses opiates. I am literally a walking opiate at this point, and the dog didn't do anything. I walked by, loveliest dog in the world, I absolutely love that dog, but not the greatest at what it was there to do. It didn't pick anything up, and it literally sniffed up my legs, up my back, sniffed my bag, nothing. And I was like, I was waiting for them to say, and they didn't. So I was like, okay, this is a bit strange, but fine. Then walk up to like a little table. There's a male and a female, obviously so they can pat down the same sex. And the female said, it's all right for, you know, the guy to look for your bag. Yeah, sure, got nothing to hide. I'm sure he's seen tampons in his life, you know, he's not bothered. So he was looking through my bag, comes across tramadol. Now there is probably 14 tramadol tablets there, and you're also supposed to have a prescription there, which I didn't have on me. They didn't ask for that, which again was pretty surprising, because how can you prove that, you know, this is mine? I could have found a way of proving it, but you're supposed to have one, and they didn't ask me for it. He then said to me, is this for personal use? Well, even if I was taking it in and dealing it out, which obviously I wasn't doing, but even if I was, would I say, oh no, I bought it in for everyone else? Obviously I wouldn't. I'd say, yes, it's for personal use, and that would be that. I could have made a killing off that. Tramadol is worth some money in prison. It's not the easiest drug to get hold of. I could have been easily making a lot of money, and all he said was, this is for personal use. Yeah, okay. Didn't even check on the system, didn't take my name, nothing. Just accepted it, which, insane, mad. Couldn't believe it. I thought they were going to check my name, check that I was allowed to bring it in, ask my prescription. There was literally nothing, just, is it personal use? He then did a half-hearted search. I had food in there, which kind of was like, you know, again, you can hide things in food very easily. Had a drink on me, it was water, but I would have thought he would like test it, make sure that it was water. No. I then had some vitamins I had 2 lots of vitamins in little pots that were full. And he just said, oh, and are these vitamins? And I said, yeah. And that was that. Again, I thought he was going to have to like test one of them, make sure there's nothing else in there. No, just literally as his vitamins. Yeah, all right then. And I couldn't believe it. I was there like, wow, like, this is scary. This is really scary. What is even the point in doing a yearly search if it's going to be like this? Why bother, really? Because if I'm trying to take something in that I shouldn't have on me, I'm not going to have it in my hand or it out in the open. I'm going to hide it somewhere, and they're not checking those places. So the people that are, and I know there are many people that work in prisons that are very corrupt, how easy it would be for them, and it is easy to take it in, and that's why we're finding things like that in there. It was just absolutely baffling to me. So then the lady searched me, and I thought I was going to have like a full pat down like I did in the mental health hospital. No, she literally said, empty your pockets. Empty my pockets, you know, being a healthcare assistant, I had some bits of paper, a little notepad, some pens, that was basically it. She didn't pat me down. I had my hair up in a bun, didn't check my hair, didn't check my mouth. I wear Doc Martens, so really chunky big boots. Didn't ask me to take my shoes off, didn't check the boots, nothing. Didn't check my waistband, didn't check my pockets on my jeans, nothing. And when they said, yeah, that's fine, and off you go, I was just like, what? Like that, as if that's it. That was just absolutely, it was so shocking. I couldn't believe it. Like I say, if I'm trying to get something in, I'm not going to have it out in the open. I'm going to hide it in my boots or hide it in here, there, or wherever. And it scared me, because I then realised how much is getting into the prison and why there is such a problem with drugs and phones and weapons and everything else. Why there is such a problem with that, because the searching isn't happening, and when it is happening, it's so half-hearted. It's like, oh well, it doesn't really matter, she's probably not bringing anything in, he's probably like, no, if you're going to search, you need to search properly, you need to search regularly as well. It just, honestly, it was just so ridiculous. There was another time that I heard about a search, but they'd let probably 3/4 of the staff already into the prison and then decided to search people coming in. What's the point? What is the point in doing that? So I'd already come in the prison, and one of my colleagues was like, oh, did you not get searched? I said no. And most of us didn't get searched. It was just like a random few people that were coming in a bit later. Bizarre. Why? Like, if you're going to search that day, make sure you search. And they said, oh, it must have been some intel they've had. Well, maybe they had some intel about a specific person. Use that as a reason to search everybody, because you don't know what you're going to find. Might be had some intel about someone else, but I know for a fact there's more than one person bringing stuff in, so search everybody. Why not? Just honestly made no sense to me whatsoever, and it was scary. It was really, really scary, knowing how easy it would be to take something in, and how easy it is, and that people were actively taking things in. They blamed a lot on visits, saying that it all comes in through visits. I've said this once and I'll say it again. Throughout COVID, visits didn't happen for about a year. Are you telling me there was no drugs, there was no phones, there was no weapons in prison? Yeah, right, okay, all right. I know that there was. I know for a fact that there was, and it was just as easy to get hold of. It wasn't more difficult because visits weren't happening, it was just the same. Do we know why that is? It's because the staff are bringing it in. The problem is, officers aren't paid the best wages in the world, and they're looking at opportunities to make themselves a ridiculous amount of money for something so small. And when it's as easy to get in as it is, and they're not thinking, oh, I'm going to get caught, because chances are they aren't, it's a win-win. It's an easy way to make money. If searches were upped and they were much more serious, and they were much more like my first search in the mental health hospital, there would be much less coming in that shouldn't be in there. Much, much less. But they'll never do that, because, like I said, I believe there is a reason they don't search the way that they should search. I feel like they want the stuff in there. I feel like it's a business inside a business. It's an easy way to make money. A tiny little phone that you can buy for £10 in a supermarket or off Amazon is worth like £500, £600. Crazy money, crazy money. And of course people are going to do it. If you're not paying them well and you're not having things in place to stop them from doing it, of course people are going to do it. And drugs are so tiny, they're so easy to get in. I could have hidden them in my boots, I could have had them in little pockets or in my waistband or anything. It's easy for people to get it in, and so it's no wonder that they do. Alcohol, things like that, you know, my drinks bottle I took in, that could have been vodka for all anyone knew. It wasn't, it was water, but it could have been anything. And again, I don't think anyone really cares, because I think it's coming from the top. I really do think it's coming from the top. As I said before, I know of an officer who was found with drugs on him. He was found in that position, he was a manager as well, so he was higher up than just your standard officer. He left for a month and then he came back in the same position. If that doesn't tell you how corrupt those places are, then I don't know what does, because to me that is just absolutely ridiculous. How you can do that, I don't know. And then I'm going to do a whole video on why I no longer work there, but they had some ridiculous intel about me, which was completely made up, it wasn't real. And they had no evidence of anything, and they still say now in their final report there was no evidence of anything, and they did a 4-month long look into me, an investigation into me. There was nothing to find. I was never found with anything. There was no evidence, there was nothing on the CCTV cameras. I kept telling people, look on the CCTV, you'll see there's nothing. And they still. And I believe the reason behind that was they were trying to find something because they didn't want me working there, because I'm the person to call people out and to say when things are wrong, and I won't have it. The sad thing is, majority of people are there for the wrong reason. There are some amazing officers that do exactly what they should do. They fight for justice and they are great people, but they are few and far between. There is not many people that are like that, and that is the sad thing. When you are like that and you're not willing to change to become the corrupt officers, they're going to find a way of getting you out. They're going to find a way of getting you out, and that's exactly what they did to me. It's really awful, and it's a horrible industry to be in. Whichever side you're on, obviously worse for the prisoners, but it's horrible to know that you're fighting a losing battle and you're against a load of people that are doing the wrong thing. But you know, no one cares. You can report it. No one cares because they've all got each other's backs. Doesn't matter. They'll find a way of just brushing it under the carpet and forgetting about it. But me, who'd done nothing wrong, and there's still, as I say in the report, the final report, it still says there is no evidence of anything, was subject to lies. The lies that were written in their report was awful, from management, from people I worked with, because they're all like one big corrupt family and they're all there supporting each other to do the corrupt thing. And honestly, it's just awful. It's just awful. I wish that I'd been searched a lot more. I feel like it would have helped me a lot when the investigation was going on, because I could say, okay, you searched me this many times and you never found anything on me. But no, again, there's a reason why they don't search as often as they should. They can say it's because of staff shortages, but this should be the thing that they're making their staff do. This should be the most important thing, but it's not. And again, I believe there is a reason for that, a very corrupt reason for that. And like I say, it's just horrific. It's just really awful, and there is no surprise that there is so many things on a daily basis that are in the prison that shouldn't be. I've got so many of the stories like this that I can't wait to film and just share with you guys, just to raise a bit of awareness about what goes on behind those doors. It's a lot that people don't really know about, but it's something that I really want to raise awareness about and just want to highlight. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.